anyone has questions for this potpourri of cases that you have shown, I shall move upon the next speaker that I can call Dr. Pradeep. Dr. Pradeep Kumar, yes, you can share your screen, and we are all waiting for your talk.
Yeah.
You can share your screen, Dr. Pradeep.
Yeah, just a second. I'm doing.
So today, Dr. Pradeep Kumar from India is going to talk about the study of pathological significance of pap smear in the diagnosis of epithelial lesions in the age group of postmenopausal women.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to present the paper. So the title of my study is a study of pathological significance of pap smear in the diagnosis of epithelial lesions in postmenopausal women. I'm myself Dr. Pradeep Kumar L. I'm working as an assistant professor in Shimoga Institute of Medical Sciences, Shimoga in India. I've done MBBS and MD, MBBS from Bangalore Medical College and MD in pathology. So coming to the introduction, cervical cancer is one of the major life-threatening malignancies in women, which can be prevented in the majority of the cases. It is the
Dr.
common.
Pradeep,
Yeah.
if I may interrupt, can you please share your screen? We cannot see your screen of
Yeah.
the presentation.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Yeah.
Yes, we can see your
Is it
screen,
visible?
and you are also audible. Yes, you
Yeah.
can go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Cervical cancer is one of the major life-threatening malignancies in women, which can be prevented in majority of the cases. It is the commonest malignancy causing mortality among women in developing countries like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nepal. In India, every year about 2.2 lakh women are diagnosed with the cervical cancer, and about half of them succumb to it. National Cancer Registry Program of India shows that the cervical and the breast cancer are the leading malignancies in Indian women. The peak age of cervical cancer in India is 55 to 59 years, that is peri and postmenopausal. As there is a well-defined natural history and a long preclinical phase to diagnose the disease, the mass screening program can be undertaken to control it. As we all know, the cervical malignancy progresses initially from cervical dysplasia, which begins as a mild dysplasia, then CIN 1, 2, 3, or what we call it as LCL and HCL, and then it will progress to the malignancy. So there is a long time gap between the dysplasia to malignancy. So any point of time we can interfere and we can stop the progression to the malignancy. However, the older and the poor women are less likely to undergo screening, who are actually at the higher risk of getting the disease. Most of the cases, that is approximately 85% of the cases, present at late or advanced stage where the treatment won't work and the treatment will be very expensive. The women during menopause or postmenopause are at higher risk of developing cellular atypia that could ultimately lead to cervical cancer. So it is important to create awareness regarding periodic screening of the postmenopausal women. So in India, most of the postmenopausal women won't come to the gynecologist because most of the cases of malignancy won't be having any symptoms, and most of the elderly populations will be neglected by the peer or the children. One of the major etiological factors for cervical cancer is human papillomavirus, which can be sexually transmittable. Any women could have exposed to it during the active sexual phase of life. The associated risk factors like early age of intercourse, multiple partners will increase the chances of infection. A periodic pap screening recommended will help the early diagnosis of epithelial abnormalities, which is useful to prevent the progression of epithelial lesions to malignancy. The aims of the study is to study the incidence of different types of epithelial lesions on pap smear in postmenopausal women. We have taken it as a descriptive study to see how many cases of the postmenopausal cases we have seen it and we have diagnosed as the epithelial lesions. beginning from the inflammation till the malignancy, only in the postmenopausal women. A 2-year retrospective study was carried out in the Department of Pathology in the Tertiary Care Hospital of South India. All postmenopausal women with clinical symptoms are included in the study. Known cases of malignancies were excluded from the study. Conventional pap smear received at the Department of Pathology was stained with the pap stain according to the standard operating procedure and were reported using the standard Bethesda system. The different kinds of epithelial lesions were noted, and the incidence pattern of the lesions were studied and tabulated, and this was done independently by the two pathology by double-blinded method. So moving on to the results, a total of 2,375 pap smears were received in a duration of 2 years, out of which 536 cases were of postmenopausal men. Their age ranged from 48 to 70 years with a mean age of 59 years. The smears were reported as per the Bethesda system. 84.8%, that is 455 cases, the smear showed satisfactory cellularity. No significant abnormalities were seen in 192 cases. So if you go through this table, the epithelial abnormalities which we made out in our routine pap studies were the non-specific inflammations were seen in 96 cases, that is 21% of the cases. Ascus was seen in 23 cases, which is 0.5%. Atypical glandular cells NOS seen in 8 cases, which is 1.7%. And atypical endocervical cells seen in 7 cases, that is 1.5%. Atypical endometrial cells were seen in 6 cases, that is 1.3 cases percent. LCIL was seen in 68 cases, that is 15%. And HCIL was seen in 48 cases, that is 10.5%. Squamous cell carcinoma seen in 5 cases, that is 1.1%. Adenocarcinoma in 2 cases, that is 2.1%. The total epithelial abnormalities we saw in 263 cases, that is totally 57.8% of the postmenopausal smear showed epithelial, one or the other epithelial abnormality. Here, if you see the percentage wise, we diagnosed most of it, almost around 25% of the cases as LCIL and HCIL. So the early diagnosis and early intervention will minimize the progression of LCIL and HCIL to this squamous cell carcinoma, which will reduce the mortality and morbidity in postmenopausal female to a greater extent. Out of 455 cases found to be satisfactory, 57% cases showed epithelial abnormalities with the predominance of non-specific inflammation with 21%, followed by 15% LCIL and 10.5% HCIL, which will most often lead to carcinoma. 5 cases were diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma and 2 cases with adenocarcinoma. The diagnostic efficacy of pap smear with 57.8% cases diagnosed with the epithelial abnormalities is very much significant, as the other cases only were not having any epithelial abnormalities. So any of these epithelial abnormalities would have led to this squamous cell carcinoma, which we have prevented by the mass screening method of pap screening. Pap smear is a non-invasive, painless, easy to perform, rapid and patient-friendly screening, which can have a significant impact in the diagnosis of cervical cancer at the early age. So as we know, the pap smear, it can be done as a mass screening procedure, and it is non-invasive, and it won't cause any pain to the patient, and the procedure is very easy to master, and the staining procedure is also very easy and it's not expensive also. So moving on to the discussion, the percentage of this smear found satisfactory for evaluation in various studies were like 0.5% in Reddy et al. Study and 0.73% in Mosa et al. And 18.94% in Gupta et al. In comparison, our study showed 15.2% smears as unsatisfactory. So as our studies only on the postmenopausal smear, our study results were close to the study done by Gupta et al., who had included all postmenopausal women. The study of Mosa et al. Also showed that the postmenopausal smears were likely to be inadequate because of the estrogen deficiency, which will cause the vaginal atrophy. So the cellularity might be inadequate as the epithelial atrophy has taken place due to the estrogen deficiency. The age range from 48 to 70 years seen in our study in comparison to the other studies, we showed 51 to 60 years as it in mosaic trial. The present study is on par with the other studies in the diagnosis of various epithelial lesions in postmenopausal women, which helped in the early diagnosis and treatment of the disease, which in turn results in the reduction of mortality and morbidity. So to conclude, pap smear is the most feasible, cost-effective, non-invasive diagnostic modality which helps in early detection of malignancy and any other epithelial lesions which may lead to the malignancy and which in turn reduces the morbidity and mortality in postmenopausal women. These are my references, and I thank everyone for peaceful listening and giving me an opportunity to present in your conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pradeep Kumar. That was extensive research done on the use of pap smear to prevent the to reduce the mortality rate in postmenopausal women by picking up lesions at an earlier stage. Thank you. Yes, anybody would like to ask